All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Teal Town Live Jersey Jargon as we go through all 31 sweaters of the new NHL Reverse Retro program. To be part of the show here with us, chat with us and fellow hockey fans in the YouTube chat on the page or the app. And of course, follow us on the social Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, SoundCloud, Reddit, and of course, our favorite Discord. And of course, for more Sharks content, including AJ's winners and losers on the Reverse Retro program, hit us up at tealtownusa.com. Good evening. Apologize for the delay. That's all on me. I am joined by Mr. AJ Strong. Nice jersey, by the way.
Yeah, dude, kill that folder. I can still see a
Oh, that one.
folder in there.
There you go. And I'm joined not by Kevin Lacey, but Mr. Hockey Jerk himself.
Hey, I mean, if you want me to be Kevin Lacey, I can be.
Only if you have only if we could see you with a turtleneck on. So, 7 a.m. We got a nice wake up call for the new NHL Adidas Reverse Retro program. A program that has all 31 teams going to be implemented into this for the first time ever. The third jersey, guys, of course, we know teams have had some, haven't had some. Like Detroit has never had an alternate jersey except when they wore one in like an outdoor game. Overall, what do you think of this idea? AJ, I'll start with you.
What do I think of the idea? I mean, okay, nice money grab. I mean, that's kind of it. Had they done this for the centennial, I would have been like, oh, okay, you do something interesting 1 year over and done with. Maybe instead of the centennial patch being on the arm like they were, you put it up where, like the 25th anniversary patch was, and you make it special in that regard. This kind of seems a little out of nowhere, and this had to have been something that's been in development for a couple of years. It just seems like an odd time to spring it on everybody, especially when you consider that there are at least 4 teams off the top of my head that also have another jersey in the pipe.
Jerk, nice to see some old jerseys return in kind of a different twist.
Yeah, I'm definitely one of those people who's, I mean, don't get me wrong, who doesn't love a retro jersey, right? Or throwback, heritage, whatever you want to call it. But for me, one of the things that I love the most is the retro inspired jersey, where it's like, okay, we'll take what we've had before and we'll gas it up a little bit here, and that's what this program is. You're seeing a lot of older jerseys with modern twists. You're seeing a lot of modern jerseys with older twists. It's a lot going on here. I think it's cool. Like AJ said, it's 100% a money grab, but when you look at how every NBA team appears to have like 7 or 8 jerseys, it just made so much sense to me for the NHL and the Adidas to try and cook something up similar to it. And I mean, I think I speak for all three of us when I say I'm always down for a new jersey.
Yeah. I mean, and you look at what has kind of happened with Major League Baseball, where the Giants, you've got your home creams, your away, the road grays, but then there's Orange Friday. And then we wear if we're on the road, they wear gray, but instead of it saying San Francisco across the front, it says SF. And then sometimes there's even some specialty black thing. So this is not new necessarily, but yeah, it's don't kid yourself, people. This is all about the mighty dollar.
Oh yeah, and well, it's hockey-related revenue, right? This is gonna help support the cap in some sort. I'm sure it would have increased the cap tenfold, big time, in that sense. So let's get at it, shall we? We'll begin first in the Uh, w- what do you? What do you
Three of
think
these
of
are good. The rest suck. Guess what?
And if I'm not mistaken, guys, this is the first time New Jersey's wearing something other than red. And Columbus rocking.
That sounds
Go back.
Columbus,
Dude, I don't need the Santa Claus jersey, but go ahead.
Yeah, but Columbus flipped from blue to red. Yeah, the audio went out temporarily. It's going to come back shortly, folks. Thank you for your patience. The Blue Jackets go from blue and white and blue to red and white. Carolina throwing it back to the Hartford, but going gray. That's a unique twist to it. The range. Oh my goodness!
It's not the word I would use.
the You're right. The Rangers, updating just a scotch of their Lady Liberty jersey, and I love that Capitals one. So, guys, what do you like from the Metro?
I'm down with the whale. I don't know that I like gray. I think it would have been a little bit more slick if they would have went with, either blue or green. But then again, who knows? Vancouver might have an issue with that. I don't know. It's, it's probably in my top 8, I guess, from the releases today. I like the Columbus one. My biggest complaint about that is they should have had that neon bug symbol on their shoulders. Right. The Devils to me is just a whole hot mess. I'm sorry, that is just like the most putrid green ever. As for like Pittsburgh, Philly, and New York, I mean, if you're going to tell me these are retro jerseys, sure, I don't see a difference. And then the Capitals, I thought they did a really good job on their color inversion. That I thought was well done. The Rangers, as much as I love that crest, the arms are boring as hell. It looks like a practice jersey. Jerk?
Yeah. Man, there's a lot to unpack here. I'm with you. I really enjoy what the Capitals did. We were kind of talking off air about this whole idea where a couple of these teams, they Frankensteined some jerseys where you have the style from one era and the colors from another era. And you see that with the Capitals here. Obviously, I mean, that eagle is an older style, but they got the current colors. I'm not in love with the Penguins or the Blue Jackets one, really, but I like the choice of crest. I think they're unique and they're different. The Blue Jackets one to me just looks like discount Capitals. I think the Whalers one, I'm sorry to say, Drew Weber, if you're listening, the Whalers one is so overrated. Like, it's a sick logo, but that jersey's lame as hell. What I would have liked to see, hear me out here, call me crazy, a Whalers in Hurricanes colors.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That might have been dope.
I'm totally down with that. I was told that the reason why they went with that gray base is because it's essentially the only color that both teams share in their palette.
That makes sense. Yeah.
I like your idea better where it's like, no, let's avalanche this.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Do what the Avalanche did and the Capitals and the Kings and the Canucks, where you do that Frankenstein style. I love Lady Liberty, just like you guys. But what about that jersey is reversed?
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah, it should have been red. Should have been red,
or hell, even like there is a white Lady Liberty jersey, but to my recollection, they only wore it for 1 year. Mm-hmm. So tweak that.
Maybe that is what they tweaked, and they made the white blue.
Stupid.
You know what? I think
the new
AJ, actually, to think about it.
The New Jersey Christmases, I commend them for steering into green, because green has been like an unofficial part of their palette for a while. So I commend them for steering into it, but that is tough on the eyes at first glance. Flyers. You all know how I feel about the Flyers. And the Islanders, I feel like the Islanders design came in on the last day and they just panicked and wanted to turn in something.
Yeah.
like Marty T in the chat saying the Islanders didn't get the memo, or who put the Islanders regular jersey on here. They. I get that they want to keep their heritage going with the 4 cups that they won back in the 80s. But shoot, you had an opportunity to kind of go with the fishermen there.
If that's the case, then put 4 fucking fishermen on the front. It's better than this.
Well, and I think the beauty of the concept reverse retro, but also the idea that it's only going to be for 1 year unless one of these teams decides to keep it around as a third jersey, is that you can literally get as wild as you want. Like, aside from the fact that it has to be retro inspired, there are no rules.
Yeah.
Like, I think it kind of would have been sick to see, we're going to say this term a lot, Frankenstein. Imagine the fisherman jersey, but it was in like the Brooklyn Islanders, like black and white kind of style, where it was more of a, what's the word, AJ?
I don't know.
Just more sleek,
Dude, I like if you take this Islanders one that they're showing and you just make it black and white. Dude,
yeah.
that would have been an upgrade over this. At least it would have been different.
Or heck,
it kind of looks like they were designing. Kind of looks like they were designing the jersey, and then like they kind of they moved the cursor on the color wheel a little too far. Like, it's just lazy.
My thinking, they had a killer lighthouse patch on those fisherman jerseys. You throw that on the crest, if you're gonna put a skosh of teal because they had teal in their jerseys there, call it a day. There's your retro reverse, and we'll see some teams that did Frankenstein things up, and I think that would have been a killer logo for sure. But the Islanders will be the Islanders, and I wonder if Lou Lamoriello had anything to say about that one. So that is the Metro. Moving onward to the Atlantic. Now, there are some jerseys in here that I am like, I want to order, and then there are some jerseys where I go, what were you thinking? AJ, I'll start with you with the Boston, Buffalo, Detroit, Florida, Montreal, Ottawa, Tampa, and Toronto.
Boston turned out better than I thought, but like I mentioned in the article that I had today on Teal Town, is it's predictable. It's uninspiring. It's nothing about it. Like Jerk has said, Frankenstein that, like, you could do something a scotch better. But I look at the Boston one and how I look at that? I go, it could have been worse. So, I'm fine with that. The Buffalo one, I got to tell you, chef's kiss. I like the Buffalo one.
Say it. Say our word of the show. Say it.
What?
Frankenstein.
Oh, yeah, perfect Frankenstein. I mean, you take the old red ones, and I think Ryan tweeted out a picture of him and like Danny Briere wearing the old red ones, and he's like, yes, we approve. So you get that old style, but when the current colors, I like the Sabres one. I dig it. I like the crest. I like the Buffalo word mark along the bottom. Call me nuts, but I like this style. Detroit, again, it's like them in New York got together and said, you just want to throw our practice ones in the mix? Yeah? Okay, cool. Throw those in.
Yeah.
This Detroit one, like, overwhelmingly, if you look on social media, the jersey that is getting the most love by a country mile is Colorado's. And the one that's probably getting the most, what's the opposite of kudos? The Detroit, without a doubt. The Florida one turned out better than I expected. Actually, I like the shoulder patches with the palm trees and the return to their old logo. I think that if they're smart, that ends up being like a third jersey for them.
I don't want to speak out of school here, but I think that was at one point the discussion where something very similar to that was going to be the third jersey.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I dig it. I dig it in a big way. I go to Montreal. Some people say Sacre Bleu, and I look at it and I go Sacre Bleu. I don't like it. I understand it's just basically an inversion. I still don't care for it. I think you could have done something. I get it. Like they're synonymous with that CH logo. Just give me a jersey that has something a little bit different. Like at least Detroit, that Stadium Series, they went with the D. I just like, I would have liked something else. Senators, clean. I don't have a problem with it. Now, I also like the color red and black together a lot. I dig that jersey. Tampa and Toronto, in my opinion, suck out loud. Don't care for either of them.
All right, so I'll work backwards here. The Toronto one, it looks like when you go to the sports apparel section of Target and you pick up like one of their crew neck sweatshirts. It's kind of what it looks like.
Yeah, no, it's that old saying where it's like, oh, that's the jersey you get when you can't afford the actual jersey.
The Tampa Bay one, the color and the way that the colors themselves and the way the color is laid out is a little odd to me, but I love that logo so much. So it gets a pass on that alone. Ottawa, I don't get it. I mean, I do, but it just looks weird to me. Like if you're gonna do, red on red, majority of that crest is red. Why not do something different with the crest? Maybe make it like an all white crest or an all black crest, or I don't know, do something crazy.
Oh, dude, stealth crest, yeah.
Yeah, the Habs one, it was a very easy switch, but I think it was done very well. I mean, I think blue has always been a very, I guess, lesser known part of their color palette. I think it's nice for them to kind of steer into that. And you kind of have to look at this from two ways, where it's, how much do I like the way it looks, but also how much do I appreciate the inspiration for it? And I think with this Habs one, it's a little bit of both, where they go full blue, which I dig, but also just, they didn't, as much as we've been talking about more teams should have reinvented the wheel. In this case, I think they did the right thing by keeping it simple. Florida, love the logo, love the color navy. Those stripes on the bottom are a little bit weird, but I can live with it because I dig that jersey. Detroit, that looks like a t-shirt I saw in Ross last week.
Yep.
Buffalo,
you're not wrong.
Oh baby, that Buffalo one, love it. That's the perfect example of the Frankenstein. You have the inaugural / current color scheme with the sprinkled into the era of jersey that's kind of in the middle of their history. So I think they hit it out of the park on that one. In Boston, in terms of what they were trying to do, I think they nailed it as well. I think based on the criteria for retro reverse or reverse retro or whatever it's called, they nailed it perfectly. That said, if I'm looking at this just based on how much I like the way it looks, gross. Yellow, as we've said every time we've done Jersey Jargon, we've all said yellow is the worst color in the rainbow, and this is just another piece of evidence to that.
I disagree. For me, it's orange. But anyway.
Oh, well, dude, orange is at the bottom with yellow. Orange and yellow are very comfortable at the bottom together.
I mean, for me,
all right.
For me, I actually love the Montreal jersey. I know it's a simple, literal reverse retro, but I think it looks pretty good on blue. I'm with you guys. That Florida jersey is so nice. And that Buffalo, that crossing Sabres logo just looks so good in blue and gold for sure. So, but I will say this, those numbers on Boston, they look pretty close to a heritage jersey the Sharks one day will wear again. So hopefully they can use those on a future regular retro, I guess we'll call Sharks jersey down the road. So moving onward to the Central Division, and oh boy, there are some good ones.
Boy, you put those ones in the right order. All the good ones are on top. All the shitty ones are on the bottom.
Right. Chicago, they go harken back to the 40s on that one. It's like not bad. We knew, Nathan McKinnon kind of, you know, you know, s- dropped the spoiler on us that they were going to go retro with the Nordiques, and interesting, I'll say, to have the fleur de lis in Avalanche maroon, but Dallas returning to their star shaped jersey. I like the Minnesota one. I'm absolutely love it. I love how they went back to the days of the North Stars. The Nashville one, actually, I don't think it's too bad. I like how it's the original style and in the gold that they want, and I love the touch that they used. They had that rare third jersey where they looked like they were the Toronto Maple Leafs for like a moment, and used like a silver and blue jersey. So that logo's on here, which is a nice touch. Then there's St. Louis and Winnipeg. Yikes! What says you guys?
Pick one, Eric.
I'll go. I dig the Blackhawks jersey. I like, we've kind of talked about before where, the Blackhawks have done really well with black jerseys, so it's kind of surprising that they haven't done it more often. So I like what they did here. There's obviously a lot to be said about the logo itself. But in terms of the jersey, I think it looks really cool. We kind of talked about the Avalanche one a little bit where, and again, in terms of the inspiration for it, I'm 100% down with it. But I don't see the idea of glorifying who you used to be. It's like, to me, I interpret this, again, beautiful jersey, but I interpret this as like, awesome, it's the 25th anniversary of when we left Quebec. You know what I mean? It's like, to me, that's what it seems like they're glorifying.
Yeah, but you don't think they're going to have another jersey for the 25th?
Legal reasons, I cannot answer that question. The Dallas one, I was really hyped for the Dallas one, and they kicked me in the groin on this one because the design is so sick, but the execution with the color placement and everything, I'm so upset. Like, if you were gonna make the logo like really light in color, you should have made the jersey dark. So I was really hyped for it, and I've been disappointed. Minnesota, again, I like what they're going for. It's the history of Minnesota professional hockey, and I love it. But again, the North Stars they did not become the Minnesota Wild. So I don't know. It kickstarts the debate, and we can kind of get into it later of like, do you think an organization's history belongs to the city or belongs to the franchise? So I don't know on that one. The Nashville one, I agree with Eric. It's not as ugly as I thought it would be. It's actually kind of a cool in terms of how it's all laid out, especially with the shoulders. You actually get a decent breakup there of color, but again, yellow. Man, for a team that's named after a color, they sure went in the opposite direction. And the Winnipeg Jets one, I know a lot of people hated it. Or hate it, and I even put it in my fourth tier out of 5 on Tier Maker, but this one is kind of growing on me. I can't really give you a reason why, but I look at it and I'm just like, I think I was too harsh on this to start.
For me, the Blackhawks one, I like it, and I'm generally, I'm one of the I know that there's so many people that sit there and say Blackhawks jersey might be the best jersey of all time in hockey, and I don't see it. Not to me. This jersey, I like it. I wouldn't mind wearing this one. This is pretty sweet. The Quebec Avalanche, I am so down with this. This to me was like the perfect idea of Frankensteining, the retro reverse, having the former team but in the current colors. Love that. Again, that's where the Whalers screwed up, the Hurricanes. But the Avalanche for me hit it out of the park. The only thing I want to see when I look at this Avalanche one, I'm like, okay, now give me like the home version. Give me the one that's maroon with a white and blue logo and white fleur-de-lis around the edge. Chef's kiss. I dig this. I'm already looking at pre-order on this. The Dallas one, I could not agree more with Jerk. I had such high hopes for this because you knew this is where they were going.
Right.
And I just look at that, like, I don't know if that's like silver writing, the outline of the star and the star's word mark. Like, if memory serves, those jerseys were like green and gold.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you made the outline gold and the stars, the word star, gold, stars, whatever. But for me, the thing, there's two ways to look at this. When you see the Stars or the Stars jersey and you see it which I've seen on social media, in like a color rush style where it's white pants, white gloves, fucking white socks with black and green stripe. It looks, when it's done in that style, it actually looks pretty damn good. By itself, yikes. Like, the under those, the arms, like the black should have continued all the way to the cuff. The black on the body should have continued all the way to the bottom. It just looks like I don't know, like a Richter scale line across a jersey or something.
Yeah.
I had so much hope for that, and it just, so disappointed. The Minnesota one, predictable. I'm kind of there with Jerk. I mean, we can have the debate who owns, history, but I mean, show me a good Minnesota Wild jersey. I mean, they just all suck. The Nashville one, it could have been worse. Another goddamn yellow jersey, as if they need any more of those. It's not bad. I think they should have went with a blue base and gold trim, but whatevs. And then what is this St. Louis Blues thing anyways? Is this what they call the clown jersey or whatever?
The clown jersey was originally blue with the red at the bottom, and they just flipped the colors.
Yeah.
They wore an Adidas version of that jersey last year.
Yep.
Yikes.
I'm sorry, of the inspiration last year, excuse me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, okay. I mean,
that doesn't make it any better.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't make any better. Like, I look at this and it's like, well, they did what they asked. it's retro and it's reversed. I mean, it's like both boxes checked off. And then the Jets one, I'm not a fan. I just think it's kind of boring. But the whole thing is, okay, well, if you gun to your head, forced, you either have to wear this Jets jersey or you have to wear that baby blue one with the curse of Jets on it. Oh yeah, I'm taking the reverse one.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, still not. Either I almost think Colorado did such a good job. Just everybody else in the division just pales by comparison.
Now, let me ask you guys this about the Colorado one, because we talk about the histories with the city or the team here. Would you like to see a Frankenstein where the Avalanche logo, or heck, I'll even throw out there the Yeti foot was on the front, and it's in that jersey style, and instead of the fleur-de-lis, maybe you have like a mountain outline or something, where it's a nod to Quebec, the design, but it's more so Colorado?
I think I would have liked that better.
See, I like this.
But no, don't get me wrong. I still love this.
Oh yeah.
But I like what Eric is saying. Where it's still an avalanche centric jersey, but it's kind of nods back to the Nordiques. While this is kind of like glorifying the Nordiques. Like, hey, remember what didn't work? But then they just update it with their own colors.
If anything, if I'm somebody who lived in Quebec in the early 90s and remembers, my heart being ripped out and taken across the country and thrown right in the center of the Rocky Mountains, and then to watch them win the cup the following year, and then 5 years later, at the very least, I'm going, okay, well, I was so pissed off I was never going to buy an Avalanche jersey. Okay, maybe I'll do it now that it's 25 years later. Who knows?
See, I don't know. And I think if I'm a Nordiques fan and I saw this, I think I'd be kind of pissed.
Yeah, I could see you being
like, you left our city. You don't get to bring it back as, kind of throw it back and say, oh, this is our roots, our heritage. Like, you left the city. As far as I'm concerned, you shouldn't get to masquerade while wearing something that represents it.
Jerk, I'll ask you this question: which jersey is going to sell more in the
Ask
province?
me.
Which jersey in the province of Quebec is going to sell more, the Colorado one or the Montreal one?
Well, and I think to AJ's point, I think you will have a lot of former Quebec fans who will see that and buy it on principle. So I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, because you look at the other side of it, Habs fans are very passionate about their team. So I feel like anything Habs, they're all about. I don't know, man. It's
I think
tough.
we can agree that if you can afford tickets to Canadiens games, you can afford both jerseys.
You're right.
Absolutely true. All right. I want you guys to hold off your thoughts about the Sharks, but we're going to go to the Pacific now. And boy, howdy, are some of these loud. Oh, man.
Love it.
Wow.
Dude, you talk about the chef's kiss division.
No kidding. I mean, I think you look at these 8, and I think they all hit it out of the ballpark. Anaheim, going back with the jersey.
Well, I don't think I'd go that far.
Well, I think about it. Anaheim going outside the box, I guess, or let's say jumping out of the ice, with bringing back a white version of the Wild Wing. The Desert Dogs, I was iffy about that green third jersey back in the day, but now that it's purple, that one's really sweet. Blasty is back for Calgary, although it doesn't seem like they did too much to it.
I'm sorry, I think you mispronounced the name. Jerk, can you help him out?
Yeah, see, I thought this thing was called like Sploogie or Sparky or something.
Edmonton going with an 80s literal reverse retro. The Kings kind of honoring 2 eras of their history with
Eric, say it. Say the word.
I was getting to it by Frankensteining them the purple and gold onto the Gretzky era jerseys. We'll talk about San Jose in a little bit. Vancouver. Oh, that is a beauty. That is an absolute beauty of a jersey there. That might be my second favorite behind the Sharks. And, despite not having, being in the league for a long period of time, to go back and honor the IHL Thunder and the ECHL Wranglers, I thought the Knights did a pretty good job with their reverse retro. AJ, I'll start with you with the Pacific. Your take.
Well, I mean, the Anaheim, it falls into it's so ugly, it's perfect jersey. I mean, they even went with the old font for the funny font for the numbers and the names and everything like that. I gotta say, I like this jersey far more in this color layout, where it looks like instead of coming out of the ice, it looks like he's coming out of water, like a duck would. I dig it. I think the other thing that makes it, what made them kind of like have no choice is that they just had their 25th anniversary where they went retro, and did a fantastic fucking job at it.
Yep.
But I think they were kind of painted into a corner, and it was like, well, what else can we do? And this is what they ended up with. Dude, I like it. I want one. Again, it's one of those things where it's like, it's so ugly, it's awesome. The Arizona one, chef's kiss with that purple, like green. The green version sucked. Again, I'm just orange, yellow, and green jerseys, for the most part, just suck as a rule, unfortunately. But this purple, I mean, boy, just Arizona, just put whatever the red or I don't even know what the hell colors they what their current actual colors. Just shit can it all and go back to Kachina and Peyote Coyote. Just do it. It's all what everybody wants. The Calgary one, yeah, it's going to be no for me. I'm not a big fan of the splooge. I think this is just not a fan of this crest whatsoever. I think they could have done something else. That crest just is lame in my opinion. But hey, they have brand new home and aways that are classic and crisp, as Jerks likes to say. So who cares about this? The Oilers one to me is kind of the same as the Islanders, where it's like, it really doesn't feel, you look at some of these and it's like, oh my God, this feels retro. And I look at this Oilers one and I'm like, I'm not really feeling that retro. The Kings one, oh my God, all the retro, the Chevy logo with the purple and gold and everything. I mean, yes, that's well done. The Vancouver one, we were talking about this, I think, off air. I think it would have been cool if they actually would have reversed it. So instead of red sublimating into blue, it would have been blue sublimating into red instead of sublimating into green. But I get it. It's their color scheme. And for what it is, again, it could have been way worse. So I think Vancouver did and then the Vancouver one, I still think that crest should have been on their gold one to change things up. But, I don't hate it. I understand the nod back to the history of the Thunder and everything like that. And if it had had the same crest as all their other ones, then I would have been like, oh, okay, that's a fail. So at the very least, it needed to either have the Cross Swords logo or it needed to have that only the negative space V from their helmet logo, just the big V on the front. But yeah, I mean, I don't hate the V. I'm not in love with it, but I mean, there's certainly ones that I would rank far worse out of this, but not awful. Jerk.
So I really like this Vegas one for the points you guys mentioned. The Golden Knights themselves, they don't really have a whole lot of history, so they throw it back to the history of hockey in Las Vegas. You have the Thunder jersey style, you've got the colors of the Wranglers, and as you said, AJ, you have the crossed swords with the ninja star, that logo on there, which, if you ask me, that's better than their crest logo. So full marks to them for getting that on there. I know a lot of Sharks fans are going to say, it's like everything else Vegas does. It's stupid and can't kill a major power play. But I think this is a really cool jersey. Yeah. The Canucks one, again, we're going to look at it. We're not done yet. We're going to look at this in a couple different ways. You have...
We're not there yet. We're not there yet.
We're not quite there yet. We still got a lot to count. In terms of how it looks, I don't hate. I'm like AJ. I don't dislike it, but it's not my favorite either.
Yeah, it's not popping my tart.
But I think in terms of the Frankenstein aspect, where you have the sublimated style with the current color scheme, I love that they did that. I want to see what else Vancouver had in the can, because as Puck Guy knows, Vancouver has probably had every color in their palette at some point. Yeah. Like, imagine the sublimated jersey in the skate jersey colors, or the skate jersey jersey in the current colors. Yep. They could have done so many different things.
Imagine, if you will, that fucking V, that horrible V jersey, but done in blue and green.
Yeah, and Jerry F was saying the same thing. That would have been crazy. And honestly, with blue and green, I think it would have looked a lot better. So, sorry, Jerry, continue on, but.
Mm-hmm. So the LA Kings, everything AJ said, you have the purple and gold from the 70s and early 80s, but then you also got the chevron style from the 80s and 90s, and you got that Frankenstein look to it. This one, and I for some reason in my tier maker. I put this in my second tier, but I kind of want to redo it and put it in my first tier because I love this jersey, and we've talked about many times before whenever we've done a jersey jargon, but purple is a very underused color in the NHL.
You're right.
And so to see teams like LA and I'll get to Arizona using purple as a main color, I love it.
Why
Edmonton,
is it that Arizona's purple looks so much nicer than LA's?
It looks
yeah,
like
I agree.
The sorry to interrupt, Chuck. The LA one's more like a royal. It's like a darkish purple, and the Desert Dogs looks like it's a little bit more fancier,
almost violet.
Yeah.
The Edmonton one, I think if this was just a third jersey and wasn't part of the retro reverse program, I would really like this jersey. I think it looks cool. It's very simple, but it looks nice. They use just enough orange to where I don't hate it. But the fact that it's part of the retro reverse program and that's the best they came up with, I'm not really down with it. All I'm saying, the oil drop in current colors would have been cool. Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
That's it.
The flames with old Sparky there, Sploogey, Bangy, whatever its name is now I get it. It's the Flames are one of those teams where it's like they should probably have a black jersey, and now they do. And obviously, Torchy is very iconic to their fan base. But same thing with Lady Liberty. What about this is reverse?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All they did was
that said. I think Flamey was a very nice return for Flames fans. The Yotes, oh boy, love it. That purple, crisp, that Kachina coyote head, love it. The desert scape on the bottom, I know it's tacky, but like I said, the only rules of retro reverse is it has to be retro inspired. Go nuts. And same thing with Wild Wing. I'm not particularly a fan of the Wild Wing style, but in terms of really putting yourself out there and steering 100% into, the guidelines, if you will, I think Anaheim and both Arizona did really good jobs at that. Will I buy the Wild Wing jersey? No. But I do think it's a pretty solid piece of artwork.
No, yeah, I like the teams that push the envelope, like Anaheim and LA and Arizona. Absolutely. The ones like the Islanders or the Oilers that played it safe. Yeah. Boring. To answer a question that was in the chat, someone said, are the players going to play with them? Yes. Right?
Yes.
They're supposed to play a minimum of 2, possibly 3 games. But these are supposed to be like rivalry games, and you have to color match, if you will. So like the chances of Anaheim and Edmonton being one of these games, that's a no because they're both white. The chances of Arizona and LA being a rival game, that's going to be a no. But say LA versus the Sharks, absolutely could happen. Anaheim versus Arizona, sure. So, well, it remains to be seen, but yeah.
Yeah, it's because I was thinking about that too, AJ, where it's like you can look at these and you can say, oh, yeah, it's so obvious that these are going to be the rivalry matchups. I mean, the Pacific, Sharks, Vegas, those are definitely discernible. LA and Anaheim, you bet. Edmonton and Calgary, obviously. But there are some of these, like I'm looking at the Panthers and the Lightning, and I'm like, I don't know what you're going to do there.
You're right.
Yeah. I doubt you'll see it. But let's get to
how hideous that game between Boston and Montreal is going to be?
Yellow and blue? Oy. All right. Now to what we've been waiting for. The Sharks with their gray. We all said, bring back the gray. Well, it's back in a big way. These jerseys are based off of the original third jersey that the Sharks got back in 1998 from Nike. The striping on the sleeves are actually more so the home white version that AJ and I have been wearing tonight, where they kind of reversed the white and the gray onto this one. Funny enough that our good friend of the show, Eric Bottomer, he's the senior designer at Adidas, actually designed the original third Sharks jersey back in 97, 98. So a little homage and shout out to him because this is his baby of sorts. So, you definitely had some teal there, and we tried like crazy to get this spot on, especially after the teasers leaked out. And I wasn't sure about gray, but it kind of works for me. Me, I would love a little more teal, but I think this is actually spot on, boys. AJ, what do you think?
I go back and forth looking at this, and it should be, as you kind of noted, like you look at the press release and says, "Oh, this is based on the first alternate jersey." That's not exactly correct. The first alternate was teal. This is clearly based off its white counterpart that came out a season later. I don't know. This is one of those ones where I look at it now and I can kind of go either way. I think it'll be different once I see it in person, but looking at these photos, it just, I don't know. And maybe part to do with the fact, and this is something that I did want to note that kind of drove me crazy about a lot of the photos that were put up on here. Why did like half these jerseys have to be worn with hoodies underneath them?
Yeah.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
Yeah, it's like, flip back to the image that you just had up a second ago. Yeah, like when you look at this, the way this is, like you look at the way that it drapes on the arms and you see those damn drawstrings. This looks like a hooded sweatshirt. It doesn't look like a jersey. And so I think that's one of the things that's really throwing me off with this. And you looked at some of the other ones like the Oilers or the Kings or the Flames. Man, take off these stupid damn hoodies so we can actually see what the jersey actually looks like. That to me was really annoying. Now that said, we were aware of this for a while. We didn't know exactly what it was going to look like, but we were aware that this was the style. Thank God they went with the original crest. What a nightmare that would have been if they had, tried to, do that thing where, okay, we're going to use our current crest, but we're going to, we're going to match the teal toupee, if you will, to the teal and the rest of the jersey. Like, okay, you almost could have saw something like that. I don't know. To be honest, I think if you flip the black and the gray on this, then we're talking chef's kiss.
Yeah. No.
But as a gray jersey, again, I need to see this in person. But anyway, Jerk.
I'm going to disagree with you. I think if this was a black jersey, I wouldn't have liked it as much.
You shut your whore mouth.
So I was on Twitter and I made a point to say how much I really liked this. And somebody accused me of being a homer. Now, for those who listen to this show and all of our shows, the Sharks could release a jersey, and if I think it's ugly, I'm going to tell you it's ugly. There's no homerism here. So I love this. I've been very critical of teams in the past who've used predominantly gray jerseys. Hello, Vegas. Hello, Los Angeles. But in this case, I think there's so much other color going on that it complements it very well. The old logo is obviously iconic. That was the Sharks logo when I first became a fan and when I was growing up. So obviously I have an attachment to that. I just think it's a really good piece of work. I think it was very easy for them to mess this up, and they didn't. And I will definitely be owning one.
But who do you get if you're going to play it?
I think you got to get Patrick Marleau just for the implications.
See, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking the Shark store. It's like if you guys stock anything other than Marleau, there's a problem. I mean, you can have like one rack that's like some one-offs. Like, okay, we got to get a Couture and a Carlson and a Hurdle in there, but there should be like 3 straight racks of just nothing but Marleaus.
So let me ask you guys this then.
Oh, I know
Do
where
you-
he's going.
I don't
I-
think you do.
Okay, let's hear it.
So, do you think the 30th anniversary patch will be worn on this jersey?
Well, it's funny you should bring that up. One of our viewers actually just shot me an email, which I've since passed along to Puck Guy, but they did a Photoshop putting the 30th patch on this jersey.
You sent it to the email?
Do I think it'll be
Who's
on here?
who's is they our viewer?
Yeah, somebody who was
Okay.
viewing, they
Oh.
literally sent me a thing that says, "Hey, it says, hey, I'm watching your stream. Would like you to look at with the 30th anniversary patch." So I've forwarded to. I don't know if he wants to throw it in there or not, or if he can, but um, I, I, I think I kind of liken it to what they did with the Heritage jersey. The Heritage jersey, even though it was in the 25th season, was not. It didn't come with the 25th patch.
Yep. There you go.
So-
See, and I disagree because that was strictly an anniversary jersey, while in this case, this is just a special design.
Okay. Well, look, it comes down to the fact of, look, no free ads, but there is a website out there that has patches. You can just go pick one up when they're out and just jot one on there. Now, it comes down to the fact, too, that, you know what, that patch might work really well on here because it's going to be, it both featured the old crest. So maybe it almost it screams like it kind of needs to be ours. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it's because there's some gray in the patch and all that, like it kind of screams, and it would just really tie it in together because it's been stipulated, right, that this jersey, this whole reverse retro thing is for this year only. So if it happens to coincide with also the 30th, I think if it doesn't come with the patch, you run out and buy one and have it put on. And Vince G saying 30th patch is great for a reason, if I had to guess. And if you look at a lot of the graphic elements that are coming out of Shark's social media since even before the draft, you're seeing a lot of gray and next to no orange. And we know that a couple weeks ago, the Sharks retired some word marks and some icons, and large part being that orange has kind of been eliminated from the palette in a very, I don't think they're trying to I don't think they're trying to be swift and just sweep it under the rug as if it never happened, but they're certainly not advertising the fact that it's kind of become an afterthought.
Right.
Would you say unceremoniously?
There you go.
What do you got there? Words?
Say real quick, I know words. The person who whipped this up, do they want us to plug their design?
Well, it appears to be Mad Cow Jr. in the chat who put in all caps, "Yes, I got my Photoshop on there." So there you go.
All right.
So credit to Mad Cow Jr. on here. The 30th patch, I'm not going to lie. We had, what was Chief's name? Sam Designs, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Honestly, I think Sam Design, and I think the one we did pops a little bit more than this. So, after the 10th being so outrageously awesome, the 25th being incredible, I had a little more hopes for the 30th, but it is what it is. And again, this is another unfortunate aspect, and this is something that I'd love to find out from the Sharks. We've already seen videos featuring Donato and Dubnyk holding up jerseys with these patches, but the quality of the video is so horrid that it's hard to get a good look at this. Why are we still waiting for this patch to come out? Number one, or why hasn't there been an official release? But here's Eric giving you his version of, what that would look like. Again, I don't hate it, but I think I think they really missed an opportunity not using the circle fin logo as the 0 in some way, shape, or form. But it's just me.
Yeah. No, I think it's okay, but yeah, after the 10th, which was just amazing, tough to go around with it. But yeah, I was with you. I made some renderings that had the fin patch on there, but be interesting to see how this works, especially with the original shark logo on there.
You got the 30th that we collaborated on handy?
I can look and see if I can pull that up really quick. Hang on.
Let's see if you can whip that out. But for the again, I'm not the most inspired, but hey now. See? Now if there's somewhere you could kind of find the happy medium between those two, where it's like, I like the triangle, I like that they use the original shark in it, but I still think, like, dude, you've got this logo or the circle fin and it's 30, you're representing a 0. Like, how do you not do something like this? But again, that's just me. I'm biased just a scotch.
We did kind of a couple of ideas. AJ and I collaborated on, and that was one of them. Was have the original triangle, and kind of have it spruced up a little bit more. And then, if you're going to wear, the current Adidas jerseys, maybe you go with something like that, and kind of have 2 different patches, similar to what Columbus is doing for their 20th anniversary. They have a regular patch.
So you go back
Arizona as well.
Yeah, Arizona as well.
Go back to the first one. Yeah. See, I like this. I think if you take the ribbon out and you put in that shark, like from the 30th that the Sharks are actually doing, then I think you're cooking with gas there, pal. But I digress. Yep. Anyway.
Anywho,
let's get back to the Sharks jersey.
Back to the Sharks jersey, indeed. There you go.
Yeah. Well. I mean, I like the stitching, and it's one of those things where gray just it doesn't photograph the best. Let me see one of these in person. Let me try one of these bad boys on. Evidently, it'll fit a certain way if while trying it on, I'm wearing a black hoodie, based on the photos. But let me see okay. Now, can we also talk about this for a hot second? Am I the only one who was just a little agitated by the fact that it's like, okay, so Adidas puts out the video, spits out the leak, or not leak, but they spit out that promo video that features the jersey, with the number of each year that each team is going to reference. They spit that out on Wednesday. Then Thursday they do leaks of the Pacific Division, and then Friday it's Central, and Saturday it's Atlantic, and Sunday it's Metro, and then finally, and then after all of that buildup, then they put it out at the crack of goddamn dawn this morning, which I thought was a little ridiculous. But I thought the buildup was unnecessary. Like, just you can do the teaser video, and then at the very end you put noon November 16th or something like that. That's it. You don't need this like daily just blah 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 blah. I thought that was a bit much. And then and this is what drives me crazy. And the hockey jerseys are not the only ones that do this, like albums or other pieces of media. You're going to put out something that everybody's clamoring for. Oh, yeah. And so this awesome thing is available in 2 weeks. Why isn't it available today? Like, at the very least, why can't I pre-order it today? Now, I know the Avalanche ones you can pre-order right now, but I looked around for the Sharks. Yeah, gotta wait till December 1st for the vast majority of these things.
Yeah, a lot of teams are doing pre-orders, like Colorado. I think Boston and Anaheim are the same. According to the release, it will be available on December 1st at the Sharks store, we hope, for curbside pickup. It'll be at the Pro Shop at Solar for America Ice in San Jose, and Adidas.com, and then another site that we absolutely despise. And then with wider availability, additional.
But they're already available in China to order tomorrow.
They'll be at other retailers starting December 6th. So you get.
So
can't wait to get it at Ross for $45.
Yeah, no, I'll head over to Dick's.
Yeah, on December 6th. Of course.
You know, the other thing too is I'm a little surprised that these are available for that Fanatics versions are available for this. Like, I think this would have been a perfect time for Adidas to just stick it to Fanatics and work out some deal that, oh yeah, these, because they're special. Yeah, only Adidas is doing this. That would have been cool.
That would have been cool if they just dropped Fanatics altogether and just made, Adidas the official apparel supplier to the NHL, but I digress. So, and speaking of retailers, let's send a shout out to our friends, including Sam Tageson, who used to work there at Hockey X, who closed up shop after 25 years yesterday. One less place for you to go get a reverse retro jersey, and all the best to them. I definitely got my hockey equipment there, and anything Sharks related, I couldn't get down to the Sharks store for. So all the best to Hockey X.
Vince G in the chat saying, will players getting new pants to wear with it, or just the usual black, you think? I don't know. Like I said earlier, that Dallas mock-up, that looked like a color rush thing where they were going to have white jerseys with white pants. Remains to be seen. Now, would the Sharks jersey benefit from the guys wearing gray pants as well? Could be. Black pants with gray socks? Could be.
I don't have any intel that would confirm this, but if I'm the Sharks, I'm pushing for the pants that they wore in the second era, the black pants with the circle fin on it. I'm pushing to have those pants worn with the retro reverse.
Yeah, no, totally.
So what? You've got like a meeting scheduled? You're like talking to the franchise about this? What's going on?
No, I'm just saying if I was that decision maker, that's what I would pick.
Gotcha.
Yeah, no, I agree. It would be black pants with the circle fin on it. That makes sense. That was with the time when they wore the second generation jerseys. I think that would go well. Question being, would they like to reverse those and maybe go teal? Be a scotch different? I don't know. Means to be seen. We'll find out hopefully sometime whenever hockey decides to return. So, with that, we shall wrap things up. So, if in case you missed anything and want to watch this again, check us out on tealtownusa.com or your favorite podcatcher. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, TuneIn, iHeart, and of course, always available at tealtownusa.com. Boys, as always, good to chat hockey and good to chat jerseys with you. Jerk, your final thoughts on where the people could find you.
So, I'm really nervous that I'm gonna buy too many of these jerseys, because I got to say there are a lot of these that are pretty crisp, and as AJ knows, I'm running out of hangers. So I'm going to have to pick up some more if I am going to add any more to my collection. But no, this is something, not to be sour grapes or anything, but this is something that the three of us all kind of saw percolating about a year ago. So it's a little sad that everybody else is like, oh, I never heard of this. And it's like, hi. But that said, if you enjoyed the show, if you enjoy us talking about things that people don't normally talk about, obviously follow us on Twitter, YouTube, Tealtown USA, but also you should follow me on Twitter at @hockey_jerk. And I don't have anything else to say because it's the COVID offseason part 2. And there's not really a lot to say, but there will be once the season starts on, January 1st, 2023.
At the rate we're going...
Back to you, Eric.
Yeah, at the rate that we're going, it might be 2023, which is... AJ, as always, good to see you. Great jersey again. Your final thoughts on where the people can find you.
People can find me in line to get a Colorado jersey. That's where they can find me. Look, cash grab. What are you going to do? I look forward to seeing what else they end up coming up with. Remember, we're all expecting there to be some other jersey that the Sharks put out between now and the beginning of the season. They got to do something for the 30th, so we'll be talking about that when that happens. But there you go. AJ_strong on the social media, and we will be getting into later this week. It's not set in stone yet. Haven't cut the tape, if you will, but we'll be talking and diving deep into basically everything that's going on between the Google development, the expansion of Dear Dawn, and everything around SAP Center and the impact of the downtown West cluster, if you will. But that will be coming later this week, so look for that.
Yeah, we definitely will touch on that for sure. Support your Sharks because they could use all the support they can get with San Jose kind of turning a blind eye to the main reason why they're on the map in the world. But I'm at PuckGuy14 on the Twitter and the Instagram. We'll be back with you in the very near future with what AJ is going to bring to you. And until then, thank you for watching. Keep it real. Keep it teal. Keep it real, Teal. Have a good night, everyone. Take care.